Don't go into too many details about what you're doing outside of work. And the reason is because women talk a lot more than men, so that stuff spreads and it affects your reputation.
Be manly and the legends of humanity. Welcome to the Fellowship of Honourable Men and Women Role Models for Boys and Men, because you have the power to be a man in all its glory.
What are some common mistakes boys and men make in their What are some common mistakes boys and men make in their communication style when interacting with women at work, and how can they be avoided?
Some of these are obvious, and men will still make the mistake. The first one is eye contact, obviously. I mean, let's point out the obvious, which is look, as if you're a man interacting with women in the workplace, you have to pay a lot of attention to your eye contact and where your eyes move. Because if it moves anywhere else outside of your eye, outside of the other person's eyes, you're creating complications that you don't need in your life. And it's stupid that I even need to say this, but it happens just so many times to the point that it's ridiculous. Like, yes, can you find your significant other at work? Sure, statistically, I think the number is like 30% of our relationships are made at work. Do I think you should bet your life on those 30%? Definitely not. I'm a very risk averse guy. I think you should bet on the other 70% and leave that outside of work. But hey, look, one of my best friends met his girlfriend that way, but but even in his case, he waited until she left the company. So he was very smart about it. So even he had the right noggin on his head there. So yeah, look in the right place. That's probably the first piece when interacting with women. The second piece is keep conversations surface level. Like I know this is very counterintuitive advice, but with women, I'm very antsy, man. Like I like keeping conversations surface level in a work scenario. And I don't mean surface level in the sense of, hey, I don't want to talk to you that much. But I mean surface level in the sense of don't talk about your sex life. Don't go into too many details about what you're doing outside of work. And the reason is because women talk a lot more than men, so that stuff spreads and it affects your reputation at work. So what I would do if I was you, hug women, give them high fives, shake their hands. That's totally fine, there's nothing wrong with that, but keep the conversation on them. Try and avoid talking a lot about yourself. I did this too when I worked at my former employer. I did this all the time. I think that's why women loved me without me having to share anything about my life, which is I would just ask them about their life. Most of my team was women. So I just asked them about their day. How's your day going? How's life? And they never needed to care or never asked about how my life was going. So keep the conversation focused on them. You'll always get the positive end of the stick, and it's also in your interest to never talk about your life outside of work. I was so good at this, most people didn't even know I had a business by the time I quit my job, right? Like it's just not that hard. Just keep your mouth shut in the right environments. And then the third piece is use energy to really figure out who are the women who actually like you that you can use as allies. And I don't mean like as in like in a romantic way. A big mistake that a lot of guys make, especially, is they try to build working relationships, actually, genuinely, with everybody on the team. That's wrong. What you want to do is you want to talk to everybody and see who actually has an interest in talking to you. So what you'll find is 20 to 30% of any like amount of women in any workforce actually don't want to talk to you. So what you want to do, instead of trying to push that working relationship, you actually want to try and avoid those people, and because or else you'll get into a lot of legal stuff and a lot of bad stuff. Even if you do nothing, you want to spend more 70% of your time on the women who are actually nice. I was lucky in my case when I was working at my employer, 80 to 90% of the women were really nice to talk to, but there's always that 10-20% that you just better off avoiding, my friend. And that would be kind of most of my tips. If you just follow that, I think you'll be fine.
Before you go, you're invited to continue the Be Manly and the Legends of Humanity journey. Subscribe to our YouTube and become a patron, where you can become a courageous Crusader, a wise warrior, a daring Dynamo, and even an ascending Avenger. Here you'll find all the tools to become a man in all its glory. We're honoured to walk side by side with you on this extraordinary adventure. Together, we're unleashing the full power of manhood, creating a better world for everyone.